Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, if you could hit the subscribe button, and also if you guys could smash the like, it goes a long way. So, it looks like Adam Kownacki has become the latest boxer to lose millions of dollars because of the PBC cult and Haymon. As we know, Adam Kownacki had the chance to make multi-millions of dollars by fighting Anthony Joshua last June. Obviously, back then Joshua was looking for an opponent, Jarrell Miller failed a drug test, and the slot was open. Adam Kownacki was one of the guys that was contacted. He was offered the fight, but he turned down $5 million. Now, Adam Kownacki is never going to be a household name. He was never going to be a pay-per-view star. And after he turned down that big offer, to me it was apparent that it was very unlikely that he would ever see an offer like that again. And obviously now he's been knocked out, it's just become a hell of a lot more unlikely. Now, Adam Kownacki's advisor is Haymon. Surely an advisor, his job is to navigate the career of his client, to advise him on certain financial decisions, and basically to help maximise his earning potential. I don't see how any advisor worth their salt would tell Adam Kownacki not to take that fight. What are you going to say to him? Oh Adam, don't take this massive money now. You're going to get it in the future. Just wait. Just wait. You'll get that big fight. You'll get that big money. You just need to wait. Whereas this is heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen. Adam Kownacki is hardly Pernell Whitaker. The guy gets hit for fun. His face is his first form of defence, let's be honest about it. Defensively, he's an extremely vulnerable fighter, and to gamble such a big payday with a fighter like Adam Kownacki was always a recipe for disaster. You know, I think it kind of points to two things. First and foremost, Haymon and the people around him know very little about boxing. You know, they don't really follow the history of the sport. Things like this have happened before and many times, yet they don't learn from it. When you're offered with such an opportunity, you take it. Regardless if it's a few weeks short notice, whatever, you're never going to see that money again. It's highly unlikely. So take the money when it's offered and give it your best. I mean, listen, as bad as Joshua was that night, I still think he would have smashed Kownacki, to be honest. But as for Kownacki, even if he got smashed by Joshua, it's expected. He's earned $5-6 million, and he can go again. It doesn't really do any damage to his career. Whereas a loss to a shop-worn Robert Helenius has completely ruined his market value. Where's his paydays coming from now? He's just going to get put on the conveyor belt for these mid-card PBC heavyweight fights. His paydays are going to decrease, and I bet now he wishes he took that $5 million. I'm blaming it on Haymon. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was genuinely Adam Kownacki concerned he didn't have enough time. I doubt it, considering we've seen a few examples of this in the PBC. You know, Luis Ortiz, another guy who turned down $7 million to fight Anthony Joshua on June 1st, and he fought Deontay Wilder in a rematch for less money. Well, officially it was less money. They said they matched the purse. Whether they did or not, who knows? But, you know, turning down $7 million to fight Deontay Wilder again, I mean, come on. Absolutely ridiculous. Deontay Wilder himself, you know, turning down $120 million for the Joshua deal. You know, these are not rational decisions. Gervonta Davis turning down a career-high payday to fight Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer, let's be honest about it, not a dangerous fight at all. A guy with a belt. There's beef there. It would have sold. You know? Why not take that fight? Instead, Gervonta Davis is fighting yo-yos and doing absolutely nothing. His profile really isn't increasing all that much. Not for positive reasons anyway. His resume's not improving. I mean, what are they doing with these guys? They are making ridiculous decisions. Jamal Charlo turning down a unification fight with Andrade. Again, career-high payday. I mean, if Charlo beat Demetrius Andrade, he's then in a really good position. A two-belt holder, and he would have a lot more sway in the division. That fight was certainly worth taking, both financially and also in regards to career progression. Too many of these guys have turned down amazing opportunities for me to think it's not to do with Al Haymon, the advisor. You know, there's just too many occurrences of this happening. Yes, if Haymon has a division where he's got multiple fighters, he will let these guys fight each other. But that's only because he's got two slices of a pie. Because he's an advisor, he gets advisor cuts or manager cuts. And when he's got two fighters, he gets two cuts. So he's going to let these guys fight each other when he's got all of these guys in a division. He'll make good fights then. We see in the super welterweight division and even the welterweight division, he's made some good fights. I'll give him that credit. But when he's got a division where he's not got a strong foothold, he babies and protects his fighters, and I think it's to their detriment. We've got guys out here turning down career high paydays, basically wasting their careers, doing absolutely nothing. Again, I think Jamal Charlo is a prime example. Been at middleweight since 2017, and he's done absolutely nothing. Turning down unification fights, not building a resume. Terrible. Just passing time, treading water, doing absolutely nothing. Listen, Jamal Charlo is a talented fighter. He's a good fighter to watch. He can punch. He's exciting. I want to see this guy in big fights. I want to see Gervonta Davis in big fights, you know? But we're not getting it right now. And listen, Al Haymon's got to take some responsibility to that. Not only is he letting down us fans, which is my main concern, and by the way, I don't think he particularly cares. I don't think he really cares for the sport like that or for the fan base. But not only is he letting us down, he's also letting down some of his fighters. He really is, you know, preventing them from earning career high paydays, turning down fights that would really propel their careers. You know, there's been too many occurrences of this for me to believe it's purely on the fighters. If it was a one-off, yeah, fair enough, I could say, do you know what, that fight is just not about it. But I think there's something much deeper here, I really do. And I don't think the fans are winning in a lot of divisions, and I don't think the fighters are winning. Yeah, fair enough, Al, in my opinion, he's delivered at 154, and he's delivered at welterweight to a certain extent. But other than that, nah, not really. Not for me, you know? Not for me at all. I expect a lot better from Al Haymon. I mean, the way I'll put it is this. When this guy took over Golden Boy, way back when, he didn't take over Golden Boy, sorry, but he took a lot of their fighters, and he amassed a really big stable. That's when he made the PBC. You know, he had a great stable, and he was in a great position. I really don't think he's made the most of it. He's blown through a hell of a lot of money on average fights because ultimately, like I say, he's the advisor. Does he really care what quality of fights are being put on? Because ultimately, he's taking his cut regardless as an advisor. You know, he's not got to make a profit or anything like that. That's not on him. He'll just blow through that money and take as much of it as possible. You know? And that's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. I'm just sick and tired of it. Again, this isn't to say I've not enjoyed some PBC cards, because I have. In fact, scratch that, I've enjoyed a hell of a lot. I'm not saying the PBC always put on bad cards and they're completely terrible. No, they have delivered sometimes, but, you know, we can't turn a blind eye to their shortcomings. Just like we can't turn a blind eye to Eddie Hearns or Top Ranks, whoever it may be. We're the fans, we're the consumers, and ultimately, if we're unhappy with something, we need to voice our displeasure. I don't get this whole climate and this culture of being fanboys of a certain promoter or organisation. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I want to see all of these guys putting on massive shows, great fights. You know, I want to see just great content. And it is what it is. That's my main concern as a fight fan. I want to see the best fights. And I think the PBC, while they've put on good fights, they've been guilty of stopping some really good fights and also stopping certain fighters from basically setting themselves up for life. Because Kownacki now is in a really dodgy position. He's earned money, don't get me wrong. Has he earned enough to retire and have a really comfortable life? I'm not sure. What I am sure of, if he fought Joshua and took that money, he would have been able to retire and have a comfortable life. That's what I do know. Anyway, share your thoughts below. I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts on this one. Share your thoughts below. Peace.